Hello, friends. I'm coming out here on my front deck. Let me see if you can see a view of the lake there. I wanted to answer a great question from one of my favorite mastermind ladies. Well, actually, from two of my favorite, Nancy and Amy, asked something similar about what advice can you give us that we can give to our friends who are going through hard times? That's such a good question. So I wanted to share something quickly for all of you. And first things first, I would focus on validating their feelings. You know, this comes from all types of different therapies, and it reminds me of the Imago therapy that is basically like, you know, I really hearing them out and saying, I understand that you feel that way. You know, I understand you, I hear you. So what I hear you saying is, this is really scary for you. What I hear you saying is, you're really afraid about getting sick. What I hear you saying is, you know, really repeating what they're saying so that they're feeling very heard. And when you feel heard, you feel like seen and heard and valued. And that's a really important piece. So you're not like harping, you're not complaining with them, you're not harping on their negative emotion. You're just saying, I hear you. And I'm so sorry that you feel that way. And if, let me get this straight, is this what I hear you saying, right? I want to remind you of the 3 steps to overcome a challenging situation. So I want to remind you of that first, and then I also want to give you some more tips. So the 3 steps to overcome a challenging situation is focus on the end result of what you do want. So if you can at all turn it around and help them to focus on the end result, that is a really powerful thing. Give it away to a higher power is step 2, and step 3 is safeguard your happiness. So keep those in your back pocket while we talk about this. So the first thing is validate their feelings. The next thing, once they feel really heard, something I think is really important for you to help them with is help them focus on their state. So first off, when it comes to their state, tell them to put the phone down, stop watching the news, stop with the fear mongering and getting into that space. You know, and even though we've all heard people saying this, we're still doing it. It's like we get this, we follow the news because we get this hit of like adrenaline, and we get this hit of feeling like we have a little more knowledge, so then we're in a little more control, but it really spirals us out of control. So please encourage your friends to stay off, to have one trusted news source, and that's it, and check it like once a day, and that's it. They will know what's going on. There's no fear of that. So encourage them to get away from the news. Ask them about their state. Like, what are you doing every morning that feels good? Are you doing enough things that feel good? You know, can we, you know, start being gratitude buddies? Can we do gratitude in the morning? Can we do music in the morning? You know, can we have a virtual coffee date together? Like, what can I do to help support your state in the morning? And what can you do starting tomorrow morning in order to make your morning a little better and your state a little better? What can you do to prime yourself? That's a great thing to focus on for them. And also teach them some of the cancel processes. Teach them about canceling your thought, reaching for a better feeling thought, you know, a cancel process, turning the thought around, like erase, replace, you know, teach them that's where this comes in. Teach them to focus on the end result of what they do want. So say, you know what? Let's talk about when the kids are going to be back in school. Let's talk about that concert we're going to go see, you know, in the fall. Let's talk about, you know, when we're going to finally take our trip to India together. You know, do that. Like, focus on the end result, because we will get through this and those things will be happening again. So focusing on that feels good. So help them get there and focus on that. So feel their feelings, validate their feelings. Ask them about their state, see what they come up with that they can do to help prime themselves in the morning. Encourage them to change their story. Always encourage them to get off of the news. And then you've got to pour on the joy. So from that place, you've got to say, you know, what can we do to help you feel better? What do you love to do? Encourage them to create a happy list and make a list of all the things that bring them joy. And whether they can do some of those things now or do them virtually, you know, if it's coffee with a friend, you can do it virtually. If it's have that beautiful glass of red wine, tell them to open up that bottle. If it's dance and yoga, and we can do all these things from home. If it's walking in nature, they can get out in nature. So what are the things on their happy list, and how many of those things can they do in a day? Like, challenge them to that, because we really need to lift each other's spirits. We really need to focus on our state, change our negative thoughts, really change our story, and focus on our joy. Bring all those things that bring us joy back into our lives. And there's no one else responsible for that than us. Even if the times are really hard, especially when the times are really hard, it's the most important time to do that. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a couple of little solid tips to, talk through with your friends, and that you can support them even more. And kudos to you for staying in a great place and staying healthy and staying safe and staying positive. And let me know how else I can support you. Okay, bye.